my show, be sure to hit like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch for all my exclusive content. Hello again, Star Wars CCG players. It's your old pal Chris Gogolin here. Going to be doing some more live commentary for you in just a minute. We're going to have an OCS playoff matchup taking place between Matthew Harrison-Trainor and Matt Wadden. We can see MHT is in the lobby right now, and Mr. Wadden should be joining him momentarily. We'll get that game up and running. But I did want to get the stream started, give people a chance to wander on in. Although it does look like, okay. All right. Looks like MHT is going to opt to play Dark Side first. He just messaged me, so once Matt gets here. Yeah, that's going to be confusing. It's going to be MHT and Wadden, I guess is how we're going to refer to them. MHT and MW. We'll see how it goes. But while we're waiting on those players, let's go ahead and just take a minute, recap some action from earlier today. It was day one of Ohio Mega Worlds, which was the Corellia Regional. And that tournament, we tried streaming some of the games this morning to mixed results. I know Sam had his own stream going on his Twitch channel, obviously with no commentary because Sam was playing live. Mike Kessling ended up going 6-0 in the event. Sam Tashima went 5-1. Sam's only loss in the event was to Mike in Game 5. Mike played light side against Sam's dark side and won that game. The two of them will be playing a final confrontation on Jemp at a later date. So I guess to determine who the actual champion is. Obviously, they'll have to use the same decks that they used for this particular tournament. But here's all the other standings. We can take a quick peek at how everyone else finished up. There should have the Ohio State's tournament tomorrow to complete this little mega weekend. Looks like 26 players, so overall a good turnout, and hope everybody had a great time. I'm sure many of them are out now doing all kinds of fun and celebratory things, but congrats to Mike very much. And Sam also on another great performance. So we'll have to find out exactly who comes out the winner on top. Maybe we'll end up getting to stream the finals of this. We saw Mike earlier in the day in game number 1. We got a brief glimpse here in this game that we tried to stream. Mike was playing WAP, taking on Carl's My Kind of Scum deck. So Mike played WAP, and I don't know what Sam had for Darkside that Mike was able to win, but obviously it'd be interesting to see, having already played each other once during the event, what Sam might have done differently. You know, is it a playoff game? You know, was it something he played differently, or was it just like, hey, I battled and I drew a 1 and it was the only one in the deck, and it's like, oh, that's why their guy got to stay, and that totally changed the whole course of the game. Or was it something else where you had, you know, just a different line or a different approach, or, you know, didn't see a particular interrupt or something that might have, you know, blown them out. I guess we'll just sort of have to wait and see when we get that matchup played. All right, I think we got the tables up here. So we'll just give them a second and we'll get that going. Okay, let's jump right on in here and see what we got going on. Let's go full screen. All right, so we've got Matthew Harrison-Trainor will be playing ISB Operations, taking on Matt Wadden, who is using He Is the Chosen One. Okay, so this is definitely going to be an interactive matchup. ISB is a deck that can bring the fight to HITCO. We'll have multiple battle destinies between characters and interrupts and those kinds of tricks, and we'll reduce and limit force drains. But at the same time, Lightside also has a plethora of tricks to it, between things like Sorry About the Mess and Clash that can certainly alter the impact of some battles. MHT has started Imperial Arrest Order, Established Control, which will get most likely Fondor out, and then Imperial Enforcement for his third effect. Oh, this is nice. We got the sliders. Can I make this bigger? No. I can make it smaller. Oh, I can make it bigger. Okay, that's cool. Wadden starting the Anakin's Destiny to get his Destiny, the epic event here, along with Twilight and Grappling Hook for his second effect. Interesting that he started the Grappling Hook. That's not what we normally see. Normally we see Like My Father Before Me being the other effect, because you can get Luke's lightsaber out. But perhaps Matt has other tricks in mind, or just wants the extra deploy minus, because it makes Luke deploy equal 6. But if you think this is a game that's only going to be played on your Endor sites, maybe you want Luke deploying for 5 for your Destiny 6 Jedi Lukes. It's a curious move. Certainly something we don't usually see, so we'll have to see what Matt has up his sleeve here. I'm going to do this all game. What Wadden has up his sleeve, huh? And thank you guys for tuning in. Feel free to leave a message in the comments with your predictions. Who you think is going to win this game? And by how much? Maybe we'll try and give out a GEMP prize to whomever is the closest. All right, so MHT plays the Coruscant Docking Bay from hand. Imperial Arrest Order gets the Mustafar platform. And then also plays Fondor from hand. So getting 2 pullable locations in your opening hand isn't usually a good start. MHT draws a couple cards and will leave 2 force behind. And Wadden's going to activate 7 on turn 1. Chris Kelly's going on record. He thinks ISB is favored in this matchup. He's taking MHT by 21. No disrespect meant to Wadden, based mostly just on the matchup. I mean, ISB's got the ability to reduce force drains. It's got the ability to retrieve. And this is an interesting start, too, because, again, like we said, no sort of automatic lightsaber for Luke. Kind of makes you wonder what's going on. Maybe he's not playing Jedi Lukes. Maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he's doing something crazy and running like EPP Luke or something. Just taking a wholly different approach on the deck. But feel free, before we get too much further into this game, if anybody else has a prediction, go ahead and post it. Otherwise, you're just going to let Chris Kelly win. And, you know, can't have that now. You can't let him win by default. You at least got to make him work for it a little bit. If he's not playing Jedi Lukes, then it'll be a whole lot of disrespect meant. Yeah, I mean, who plays Jedi Lukes, right? I don't know. This is a different start than we usually see. So the sky's the limit, right? For how many other things he could also have changed. All right, so MHT wastes a pull with the Mustafar site to verify his deck and gives up the verify to Wadden. So he went for the Starfighter with Vader in title. Probably not playing. I guess he wanted to make sure what was in there before using Vane to go get, or deploying Vane and then using Vane to go get the Vader's castle. And I guess he didn't want to risk deploying maybe the Endor docking bay or the spaceport docking bay. Hi, Dan. I think I'm going to question at least 4 more things that Wadden does. That's very possible, too. All right, so he uses 1 force, deploys Vane, 3 more force to get Mira out, and then just goes right to draw phase. So does not have, I guess, a card with Vader entitled to go pull, so maybe he's going to draw for it. We know he saved 2 last turn, so if it wasn't there, if it was there last turn and it's not there this turn, he can at least afford to save those 2 force again. Now he'll activate 1 more with Vane, either to draw it or to just save it. Nope. Now he's going to go pull a card. He's going to take Dark Lord of the Sith. Okay. So I guess he found the site and then felt comfortable. Kids playing at home, typically before you activate the force with Vane, you would go pull the card you want because you don't want to risk activating it. Maybe it was just a low risk thing. Maybe he misclicked and didn't feel like asking for a revert for something as minor, decided to just take his chances. I don't know. Okay, so it's Luke Rebel Scout. So he is playing Jedi Luke's, so you're okay, Chris Kelly. He drops the Yoda's Hut. He deployed the Home 1 docking bay from hand. He's dropping Luke's lightsaber from hand, so I guess he figures, who needs like my father before me? I don't need that card, I'll just draw the lightsaber. So they're going down to the Ewok village here. Still, activation is pretty low. Darkseid only getting 8. It's got 4 saved, so he'll get to 12. And then Vane is once during your turn you can activate 1, so he'll get a 13 force to work with. I would expect MHT's line of play, if he has enough guys in hand, he'll pull the Endor docking bay. Possibly put it on the other side of the pyre here to make Luke have to walk through to potentially get there. And then get 4 ISB agents on table, flip his objective, and docking bay transit these guys over. So then he'll make the drain -1. But that's going to depend greatly on what he's got to work with. There is no Tri-Shield comes out. Anakin's Destiny just gets retrieved using the objective. And it happens for free because there's no secret plans on table. That might be something that might have to get pulled at some point in time here. All right. So MHT's got his 12. There's Vader's castle. Get himself a little more activation. And Taris is wondering, does he have any tools to help him draw the lightsaber? Usually the deck would start like my father before me. He didn't in this game. Obviously, we'll wait and see if it shows up later, and maybe he just pivoted from the start. Or maybe he misclicked and meant to click and just, liked his opening hand enough that he was like, screw it. I don't want to ask for a revert and have to reshuffle hands. I'll just roll with it. can't say for sure. It's too early in the game. He could have cards like Weapon Lev or things like that maybe let him search his use pile, so he just wasn't worried about getting the lightsaber. I don't know. It's not what you would usually expect to see, so. MHT is going to go look again with the Mustafar sight for something that's not there. Which really makes me think that he wants to be careful about getting his battleground docking bays out and where they're deployed, and doesn't want to risk having to accidentally deploy something he didn't want to, like the spaceport docking bay. Oh, excuse me. Time permitting, they should be playing both games tonight, so we'll have a resolution to this match. And a third player advancing into the Final Four after this. Okay, there's the Endor docking bay, and like I suspected, it's going on the other side, as far away from Luke as possible. He'll activate the extra force. He's got one ISB agent on table already. She's also the one that may place a card from hand in use pile to make an ISB agent deploy -1. So he can drop a card to save a force on a deploy, which should help him squeeze out extra characters. And there he goes and does just what we were just talking about. Put a high destiny interrupt back. We'll likely see him deploy 1 or 2 agents to the docking bay, and perhaps one of them will be a Colonel Yularen, which will then get him additional activation. Yularen would be one of the last ones deployed. That'll get him a few more force to work with. He's got 13. He might also possibly deploy Tarkin, depending on how many cards he gets out of hand this turn, because he's down to 8. Tarkin lets you draw back up to 6, so. MHD certainly taking his time here. I believe these players started with 45 minutes on the clock. Matt's already down to 36, and his opponent has 42 minutes left, so being very deliberate in the first couple turns, which is not unusual for MHT. All right, there's one force, Corporal Vandalay. That's Art Vandalay of Vandalay Industries. He's coming out. Then we're also getting Pole Treatum. When deployed, lets you draw top card of reserve deck or used pile. He will draw the card from reserve deck. Well, nobody else wanted to make a prediction, huh? All right, guess Chris Kelly's just going to win. All right, there's Deputy Harrison. Unique, blah, blah, blah. When deployed, may place a unique ISB agent here in used pile to deploy a different guy from used pile. So you're going to dump Pole Treatum to the used pile. He leaves table. He lets you draw a card. He draws the top card of his reserve deck. Now that's interesting. He could have taken Pole Treatum right back into hand, right? So you send Pole Treatum to the used pile, and then when he leaves table, you can draw a top card of reserve deck or used pile. So you can actually pick him right back up. He took a different guy into hand. Doesn't say who he took. Then he docking bay transited over. So he's got these 4 guys at the Endor docking bay. Wadden is going to use our only hope to move the Prophecy of the Force over to the Ewok village. And MHT pulls Battle Order and then draws a couple of cards. He does not have an ISB agent in the lost pile to retrieve. And Taurus has taken ISB plus 16. Okay, so he's playing Price is Right rules here. Okay. MHT is going to run not within sight or reach. He's going to go pull Mit Thrawn. We know MHT's already got a Dark Lord of the Sith in hand because we saw him get that earlier. Wadden is going to pay to drain. So he picked up a card off the reserve deck with the objective. Now he's going to spend 3 force to drain for 2. And MHT is going to throw away another copy of Miro, and he top decks Pol Treatum. So now he does have ISB agents in his lost pile that he can retrieve with his objective. All right, now we got some action going on here. We got some action. We got a Daughter of Skywalker hitting the table, being followed up by a Lando Scoundrel. So Daughter can cancel a character's game text to make him power -2 if she draws destiny greater than ability. There's plenty of low ability characters here to work with. Lando's going to add a battle destiny. There's a reacting Stormtrooper patrol. Okay. MHT did drop a card. From hand to make that deploy -1. Wadden's going to use Daughter to cancel Vandelay's game text. Vandelay lets you, if you drew an ISB agent for Battle Destiny, you can take it into hand or redraw it. And then he's going to draw, let's see, we get here a 4 for the first Battle Destiny, another 4, a 2. So he's got a total of 6. With Arrest Order out, MHT should only lose 1 character, and he blind draws a 6 of his own. He will still lose the battle, 18-17, and he will have to stack a card. He loses it off the top of reserve deck, so neither player will get to see what this card is because it came blind. And there goes Vandelay, forfeiting to cover the 6. Now he'll pull the Secret Plans to stop him from retrieving the Lando. And now Daughter's got a choice in terms of what is she doing. So he moved Luke over, either bluffing a run Luke run or genuinely having a run Luke run. I don't think there's anything here that like stops him from reacting, because obviously that would be a bit of a blowout, right? If you had a card that stopped him from reacting with the run Luke run, although I don't think it's technically a react. Excuse me. All right. But he could still just, he's got 14 force active. We know he's got at least 1 ISB agent in hand, plus a Vader. Could we see a choke Vader? Could we see something worse? I mean, ISB isn't limited to only playing Imperials and ISB agents. Could we see a Maul or a Kylo or something? Some type of EPP guy with a weapon come down and, you know, do a little slice and dicing. Or there's plan B. You just go battle Luke first, so then he can't react over with the run Luke run. And since it's ISB, all your guys are spies, right? Probably not because of enforcement. That's very true. All right, so he Agent Calluses, reveals the top 2 cards, takes Colonel Wolf Yularen into hand, and puts a Stormtrooper Garrison in the used pile. Now he dropped a card with Miro, makes Wolf Yularen deploy cheaper, spends 4 force, or activates 4 force rather, spends 3 on Kyrkanos. Now I think we're going to see Tarkin come out too. He's purposely thinning his hand out to get his numbers low so he can draw more cards from his reserve deck. And this could be rough because he can battle in both places here. There's Thrawn to the docking bay. And there's Tarkin to Luke's site. Does Enforcement let you battle for free too? Yes, it does. Alright, so he just got to draw 4 cards from his reserve deck. He's got 3 force left, and he can battle for free. And Wadden has no force saved. So he can't clash anybody. Maybe he's got a sorry about the mess or something. But he's basically locked into swinging at Tarkin in this situation, and one of those destinies can get canceled. And Callus just has to be with another ISB agent. So he's still going to get 2 draws here and likely going to clear Luke. Unless he happens to just draw ridiculously low. But this certainly seems like a good position for MHT to be in this turn. Kyrkanos makes this battle pretty bulletproof. Once per game, canceling a non-immune to sense interrupt. Yes, I mean, obviously he still had the option. He could have put Kyrkanos here and just canceled the run Luke run. That would have been another option as well. And then just overwhelmed Daughter. But with an 11 card hand, it's always possible Wadden has something like a Hujix. Okay. And that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote, because Wadden just conceded. Citing, I got nothing here, and my heart's not really in this series. Going to lose this by 20 plus, not worth spending another hour or 2 for the 1% chance to win. Good luck in the next round. Good game. Good game. Thanks for the game. Sorry it ended so fast. Okay, well, I guess that's going to go ahead and wrap things up. G-Man, thank you for the resubscription with Twitch Prime for 24 months. Chris Kelly was wondering about the ruling. Would that mean Luke could still be battled, though? So if he tries to run Luke run, and if he battles Daughter, he tries to run Luke run, and the run Luke run gets sense, could Luke then still be battled? I would think yes, because Luke hasn't actually participated because he hasn't joined the battle yet. So I would argue that Luke could still be battled then. Wadden says he did misclick on the starting effect, but didn't really matter because he had a pretty weak opening hand and his deck doesn't have any good answers for ISB anyway. Okay, so the grappling hook, as we theorized, was not intentional. It was a misclick, and he didn't want to ask for the revert to fix it. I don't know if MHT would have allowed it because, again, then it changes your opening hand. And HT saying the same thing. My opening hand was pretty bad too, but at least I had Vane to draw for, so that worked. Okay. Hobby, thank you very much for the resubscription with Twitch Prime as well. 43 months now. Woo. That's always appreciated. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and stay tuned to the forums for more details about other OCS action. I believe Wednesday night should be the other remaining top 8 game. Not sure exactly what time that'll be. I want to say it's around like 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll definitely make an announcement later in the week when that game is sort of finalized. I know, I think Casey's in Ohio right now, and he's playing against Werfs. So they'll get that wrapped up and sorted out, and we'll get that announced and posted, and then we're on to the Final Four. You guys have a great night. Don't forget to set your clocks back before you go to bed, or when you get up in the morning. You get an extra hour of sleep tonight, if you're in the U.S. at least. And thanks for watching. See you around the galaxy. Take it easy, everybody.